Hello guys, it's great to be here. Today we are celebrating our 9th wedding anniversary, and we decided to just do a live broadcast just to share our journey with the viewers and our little girl decided she's going to be part of us, so why not? But we just want to be very very spontaneous. So I'm just gonna ask thank you very much, Tosan. God bless you. First of all, I would like to just thank you guys out there for the love, just immense love that you have shown. Hello, Paulo, all the way from Brazil. Thank you very much for the immense love shown us today. We feel very, very privileged to share all this love from you, and we just want to thank God. We are very, very thankful for this privilege to be in this union, and we are not here like to share anything like we are experts. We are just here to share our stories. Thank you very much, Philippa Stewart. Thank you so much, Emmanuel Tosan. Hello, Paulo. So, first and foremost, I just want to wish my honey happy 9th anniversary. You're going to be doing the talking a lot more today, I hope so. So, I just want to ask how you would... how you would classify or how you would just share about your experiences for the 9 years. I have no idea how you would.
My experiences for the 9 years.
Yes.
It's been an interesting journey.
Okay.
You know, we've in the 9 years we've lived in separate continents. We've merged, you know, to come to settle in one place. We've moved homes. We've had children. So yay, baby. So it's you know, been an interesting journey.
Thank you, honey. For
One where we've been able to cross many stages, I'd say. But I mean, it doesn't feel like it's been 9 years, which is a good thing. Time has definitely flown by, and yeah, I think that's a good thing that it's flown by. We're still smiling, so
good. So okay, so I want to ask you, most often than not, people have a particular narrative about marriage, and whether it is your reality or it's not your reality, it is almost imposed on you, and it can be good and bad. The one where, I mean, Instagram type of marriage, you know, hashtag goals. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure. I'm a particular fan of hashtag. What do you mean hashtag goals? Anyway, but that extreme of marriage where picture perfect and
Daddy.
yes, baby. Thank you. It's picture perfect and it's just all rosy. And the other extreme is also that marriage, all marriages just have, you know, just drama. Is to be expected. How do you view that in the light of your own marriage? Because you can only talk about your own experience.
Yeah, I think that have in mind when you speak about marriage is to remember that every couple's marriage is unique. Every experience, even two people who could have both had either a bad or good experience, like two people who had a good experience, it could be completely different in completely different ways. And so even sitting and talking about good marriages and your experience of a good marriage, you could be talking to someone else who's having a good marriage but they haven't experienced what you have. Mm-hmm. So I think a key thing to remember is that you can only talk about marriage from your experience. Mm-hmm. And when you have, and also to have in mind that depending on the narrative you give, you could also be responsible for shaping somebody else's mind in regards to what marriage is or what marriage should be and what to expect. Or like the mind of someone who hasn't even stepped out there yet. So if you've had a negative experience in marriage, it's not to say you shouldn't share it. Share it, it's your experience, but
hello, Fatima.
Share it knowing that you're coming from, this is my experience. It may not be everybody's experience. So I think not making your experience the general is powerful. Important.
That is so powerful. Thank you very much, Emmanuel Phantom. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you very much, Fatima. What she was saying. Sorry, guys. You guys know we have quite a few children, so our last baby decided to be with us here and then blow a whistle. So it's okay, go and get it. Okay, let's go and get it. So yes, baby. Yes. Thank you, guys. Sorry for the interruption. So my wife said something quite profound, and this is something we really share. We always say that there is nothing like a monolith in marriage. It's not a one-fit-all marriage. So what my wife was trying to say is that let us be careful that we don't make our negative experience seem like that is what everybody will and should go through in marriage. That is one thing that really baby, that is one thing that really, stop it please.
Wait, Daddy.
That's parenting 101. Don't blow again. If you blow, I'm not gonna be. So yes, it's very important that we don't make our reality the reality. It's very important. Even I tell people, even with good examples, no two people are the same, right? Like, let's say we genuinely like to spend time together. We like to eat and we like to just chill with our family. It's just because we too have seen that we like that and we genuinely enjoy that. We are not doing it just to look the part. We are doing it because we like it. And I think a lot of people get pressured. That's one thing I want to talk about. Pressured into looking the part without necessarily being the part. Especially, listen, in the world of Instagram and Facebook and everything, it's a lot of pressure. It's not just that, but even going out, wanting people to think that, you know, you guys are the bee's knees. I think it's dangerous to live your life like that, and also to do your marriage life like that. To do it as if you are doing it for hand claps, because when the door's shut and when the camera's shut, you will have to deal with the backlash. And the more we fake it, the more we can't make it. I always tell people that if you fake it, you won't make it. So we just want to encourage people that let us not look at it. You can be inspired by people's marriage. However, you can never aspire to be like a particular couple, because no two people are the same. No two people have the same temperament. No two people have the same interest. No two people have the same exposure. So our advice to you is that whoever is out there who is married, who wants to be married, is that let's go back to the creator. Marriage is not man's idea, it's God's idea. I can give you 1,000 scriptures, but it is not about knowing, it's about doing it. What we have sought to do from day one is that we try to do marriage God's way. When we fall down, we will get up and continue. But what we will not do is to give up and try to do it in our strength. Because when we do it in our strength, we will fail big time. So what my wife said is very, very important. Let us not allow our negative because sometimes we think about ourselves. One of the things that we think marriage is for us. It's not just for us. If you're a Christian and if you believe God has called you to be a light to the world, you realize that it's not about you. It's not about your happiness. It's about you influencing other people. And I'm not saying that you're going to lie and say that everything is hunky-dory when it's not. But what I'm...
Because it's, sorry to cut you,
of
but
course.
it's also important not to over-exaggerate or over-romanticize and fill people's heads up with the
false
idea
hopes
that you're never going to have a challenge or you're never going to have a bump in the road. So...
Excellent. Hello, Mamel. There's always a balance to everything. That much as, of course, you are not trying to sell your negative experiences and scare people. Sometimes people can scare people who are yet to go into marriage and make decisions with their negative experiences. And that can actually influence how people behave. On the flip side too, you also don't give people false hopes and false expectations. I remember one brother reaching out to me and saying that, brother, I have to really marry by now. I said, what do you mean you have to marry by now? He said, I can see how you and your wife are always, together on Facebook, and, I can see how happy you are and how respected you are. So I must also have something like that. And I just thought, that's a very problematic motivation. It's a very, very problematic motivation that you want to have it because of somebody. You want to have the applause of people, but it will backfire. If you are not keeping it real, it will backfire. So we are not here to try and concoct any marriage secrets from anywhere. It's already in the Bible. It's already in the Word. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for it. No matter how much I love my wife, until I have gotten to the level of loving her as Christ loved the church, I cannot sit down, pat myself on the back, and think I've arrived. That keeps me humble. That keeps me always on my toes, because the ultimate standard is Christ. And we always recommend Christ for people. That's our secret. If it wasn't for our trust in the Word, we are two different personalities, a man and a woman, people from different cultures. But surprisingly, even the culture has not been that major clash most people have preempted. What do you think about? Let's touch on the culture bit and then we'll round up. Maybe baby wants to sleep. Because we are from totally different cultures. How do you deal with the culture clash? What are your thoughts about culture clash and all that kind of stuff?
I don't know, it's hard to say. For some people it's a big issue. I think for us, we've not really, I can't really say we've experienced major culture shock. I think the biggest culture shock we had was our ideas of what salad was back in the day.
Great.
But I like my salad with leaves and vegetables. He likes his salad a whole meal. But
it is what it is.
But yeah, no, I don't really think. I think I don't know. I feel like if anything, we've seen a lot of similarities in our cultures.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of course, expressions. We've got 3 different distinctive cultural ways of expressing, if you want to say, in our family, 2 of them are probably polar opposites and 2 of them are quite close.
Yeah.
But I think we've kind of looked at maybe the values that we have and that we have been brought up with and we have picked up within our cultures, and I think amongst the 3 of them, they pretty much run through the centre of all 3 of them. So we've kind of seen that any differences we have, i.e. food or dress or music or language, it's quite surface level,
superficial,
because at the core, when we talk about our values and on family and respect and things like that, actual things that we live by that matter to us, I think those have kind of run through.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Hello, Auntie Grace. Thank you for watching from America. It's powerful. It's very powerful how, you see, we all live life the way we see life. When I was marrying my wife and I knew that she wasn't from the same culture that I was from, what I sought to see was the common grounds and explore the uniqueness of her culture. I wasn't going to poke holes into the part of her culture that was not akin to my culture. It wasn't the same as my culture. So sometimes it can be challenging when we think our culture is all that. Our culture is perfect. So this person's culture must conform to our culture. Otherwise, there's going to be trouble. And it's not just culture, it's temperament, it's everything. And I believe for what has helped us, what has always been the common denominator, the plumb line, is our faith and the authority of God's word. And so when we go down into all of it, we realize that intrinsically every culture, thank you very much, Marie, every culture has good values. And if we put emphasis on the good values, praise one another, and emphasize on the unique things of our culture, we will actually enjoy each other's culture rather than clash. So yes, we don't want to drag it. We just gonna give just 5 minutes for anybody who has a question to ask, and then we will end the broadcast and then go and put baby girl to sleep. So anybody out there who has a question can ask us. We'll see how it goes for the next couple of days. If we have an opportunity, we may do a repeat. I like doing this with you, not because I want to show you off. Sometimes when I'm in the flesh, I want to, but I'm in the spirit now. I just like to always not take for granted the fact that your opinions matter. So maybe from tomorrow or the next couple of days, if we get the opportunity, we will do another live, and then we may go into the bit about how different seasons of marriage can challenge you, can make or break you. And I think that's really important. So Seth Pipra asks a very nice question. Do you need money before you can marry? That's interesting. Seth Pipra.
How much money?
How much money is enough? Number one. Number two, Seth, if we needed money before we could marry, I'm not particularly poor, but when I met my wife,
you had a job at least.
I had a job.
Pounds.
It was what?
No, by the time I saved money to volunteer.
Okay, yeah.
But when I was going home and we had 3 months to get married, I had £60.
Very rich.
And no job.
Very, very rich. Listen, so my wife is saying that, yeah, by the time we were going to get married, she didn't have much money. Neither did I. But I had a job, and I knew she could also play her part financially.
Yes, but I think the thing to remember is, if you know why you're getting married, then you cut your coat according to your size. That's
yeah.
If you don't have much money but you can afford to go to the registry, we call it here, or America, the Justice of the Peace, or I don't know what you call it in Ghana.
The Metropolitan or Municipal Assembly.
Registry.
Yes, registry office.
Yeah. So you can go there and do it legally. In England here, it costs maybe about £100, and you can invite up to 150 people, and then it's £1 for the certificate.
Yeah.
So, I mean, actually getting married legally doesn't cost that much. But if your idea of, I'm getting married, so I must have the dress and the church wedding and the decor and the reception and the DJ and the this, then yeah, you need money for that. But if at the core of it you're getting married because you want to get married, that can come later.
Good answer. And let me just listen, people get it twisted. Of course, you need money, but what most people are looking for money for is not for the marriage; it's for the wedding. The wedding and the marriage are not the same. You can spend a fortune on the wedding; everybody can clap for you, and struggle in the marriage. Start with what you have. Learn to be content with what you have, what we live with, what we still live with now. When we had nothing, we lived like that. Godliness with contentment is great gain. We all live within our means, and it will help you a lot. The last question, and we'll go. Momel says, how do you resolve conflict or disagreements? And Zina, that's Kofi, my friend, you. My friend is an expression I got from my pastor in Cape Coast, Pastor Ike. When he's about to tell you off, he says, my friend. And Ellie wants to know how we resolve conflicts or disagreements.
Yeah. How do we? I guess. Well, for a start, fortunately for us, it hardly gets to what you would call a boiling point or an emergency situation. And I think partly because in the beginning, before we got married, we spoke a lot, literally 24 hours, pretty much 7 days in a week.
It's a lot of communication, yes.
But
yeah.
I think we both kind of laid out what it is we will and won't accept. Now, does that mean we don't disagree? No, we disagree. But I think because we've both set out the boundary lines, we know where we shouldn't really go. If that makes sense. But when we do have a disagreement, I think I know myself, sometimes I need to take a minute. I don't like to always, I don't back down very easily. So if you get me in the heat of a moment of frustration, I personally may not be interested to hear the good counsel you want to give me. So
you don't want to hear scripture from the man of God?
So in those times, I just need a minute
to calm yourself down.
To calm myself down, and then we can talk about it
later.
But I think talking about it, whether there and then or later,
picking the right time,
is important. And I think before, like, we don't go to sleep on anger, you know. Even if we've had a disagreement, by the time we're ready to go to sleep, chances are we would have made up.
Good. Do I my friend you?
Not in a serious way.
It's just
we might friend each other.
She also my friends me, anyway.
But not in a serious manner, no.
Good. So Mamel, what I would like to say is that my wife answered. You see, the thing is that there's no one answer fits all. Thankfully, we have not had full blown, but I can count in 9 years, and this is not to make ourselves better than anybody. Everybody has their own challenges, but we don't particularly have.
I can count maybe twice.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can count in 9 years. We can count the number of times where there was a bust up, and one wasn't happy and somebody stormed out or something. We can count that. And those times we didn't sweep it under the carpet and go like, oh, it's normal. That's what every couple does. Because we set out from day one that people who love each other don't fight against each other. You call it whatever. We will disagree and everything, yeah. But what we
My friend.
what we tend to do is that we wait for the right time to have these difficult conversations. Difficult conversations must be had in marriage, but it is picking your time. It's picking your time. It's important to pick your time. There are times that I, in my zeal to squash the disagreement there and then, want to just pour out some words of wisdom there and then. But then my wife is not in the mood. And that's mostly my thing, because I am in, like, I'm the type that it must get solved right now, because I believe in not letting your anger fester. However, I must learn to pick my moments and pick my times. And I must say that my wife was saying that she needs a minute to cool off. Fine. And we all express ourselves differently. My wife is the type, you cannot miss her when she's not. You just cannot miss it when she.
Referring to the video.
What's that?
Are you referring to our video?
No, I'm not going to. Love covers a multitude of sins. I'm not going to. Thank you very much, Gifty. God bless you. My wife is expressive, so when she's not happy, chances are that you will see it. I am not as expressive, but you can see when I am not happy, because I don't.
You're not as vocal.
I am not as vocal.
Because you express it.
I express it,
but it's not vocal.
Yes, I have a bit more of a Cold War approach to it, and so the tendency is that the Cold War can seem like, oh well, I'm cold, I'm just calm, I'm just chilling, but it is also not the right way of dealing with conflict. So listen, I wish I could say that whenever conflict happens, we do know, but what I believe is that use scriptural principle. Don't let the sun go down on your anger. Think about forgiveness. I used to struggle to forgive, not because I just felt like what you've done, let me sulk for at least 45-50 minutes so that you know that the thing has really pained me. So let me sulk for about 45 minutes. I'll forgive you, don't worry. But I don't want to forgive you under 45 minutes. I don't know what's wrong with that, but we still know at the back of our mind that we cannot afford to be offended. We cannot afford to let offenses fester. If that is a killer, if you allow offenses to fester 1 day, 2 days, you are allowing a cancerous situation that will eat up your marriage. And one thing by the grace of God we know is that we are militant about having our communication and relationship restored. We don't take marriage for granted. We don't take each other for granted. That's one of the things that God has blessed us and we have been disciplined with. We do not take each other for granted. Yeah, man, Ashanti man, don't laugh at me.
That's the cultural difference.
we don't take each other for granted. We try to, except when she's correcting my English, but I correct her English more than she corrects my English. So I understand it. So we don't take each other for granted. And 9 years with almost 4 children, we have still vowed that when you take people for granted, you belittle them, you dishonor them. When people think, oh, they've fallen out of love and everything, think about the first time you met this person, how you felt towards them. If you fallen in love once, you can fall in love again. And like biblical principles, if you are falling from your first love, Gifty, you are laughing at me. We are from Kumasi, and you are laughing at my English.
I think as well, like, don't, like, I was gonna say, like, sometimes to people outside of our home, we can come across as, let me use the word, quite stiff in certain areas, and to the
We don't
point
have much
where,
banter.
yes, and I have picked up in the course of our marriage, which is, you know, I've learned that my husband, he is very respectful. If you know him, you know, he's very respectful and he's very mindful of what he does and what he says. But he's also very big on respect being two ways. So, and he's very big on, which I think he's touched upon, which is not letting familiarity creep in. So, for me, there's certain things that I know he wouldn't like or doesn't appreciate or wouldn't sit well with him. And I don't know if I may modify my behavior.
You'll be mindful of.
I'm mindful of it. And people might look to me and be like, oh, you know, is your husband that, like, is he that stern? Is he that controlling? Is he that, you know? And it's not because my husband has sat me down and said, look, I won't tolerate this, I won't tolerate that, and you will behave like this. It's not that at all. But just getting to know him, and I've gotten to know what sits well with him and what doesn't. So then why would I want to behave in a way that wouldn't sit well with him? Because although on the outside it may
It's
look
normal.
like I'm, you know, I'm my own woman, I'm independent, I can do what I want, my husband doesn't control me, you know, it's only going to cause problems for me in my home. Because to the outside I may look like, oh yeah, you know,
You're independent. You
I'm
just
independent,
say what's on your
but
mind.
when we close the door, we'll be bickering because of my independence. And I think it goes both ways. My husband also has seen things about me. For example, I think you are more of a homebody than I am. Like, we enjoy spending time together, but out of the two of us, I like to also have time to go and have a coffee or have a meal with my friends and do something outside of the house. And maybe it's because I'm at home with the kids.
Definitely.
Because if we didn't have kids and we were both working, chances are we'd be with our friends together. But obviously having children and my husband working and me staying at home means that if we are to spend time with our friends as well as each other, there may be times where one of us, we have to do that separately most of the time. And I think my husband, he's okay with that. And that's one thing that I've had to become okay with. But I think you have seen, oh, you know, my wife, she likes to socialize outside. So it's not, I don't go out every weekend with the girls, but every now and again I may say, oh, you know, going to meet up with a friend, and he'll be like, yeah, you need your time. You know, so I think we both kind of pick up on each other's, what the other one needs, if that makes sense.
No, it's important. It's important, and I appreciate that about you, because obviously, I think one technique that I can recommend for people is that it's better to be at peace than to be right. It's better to let your rights go. Hello, Philippa. We need a regular babysitter for date night. Yeah, we would love babysitter any day. It's a principle I've learned that he who wants to save his life should lose it, and he who wants to save his life should lose it, and he who wants to keep his life will lose it. What I'm trying to say is that you sow.
You reap what you sow.
You reap what you sow. It's a spiritual principle. Let's say she will have to relinquish certain things to reap certain things. It's because she has looked out for certain things that I want, and she gives up certain things. Then I willingly give up other things. It's that back and forth thing. But when everybody wants to hold on to your rights, everybody's clinging on to it's my right to do X, Y, and Z. It's my right to do this. Then that's where the tug of war happens. So I think that's one principle I've learned. Like, listen, if you want your wife to respect you, you have to sow respect, honor, love, and then sometimes even get off your high horse and sow humility. That is how you get respect back. It's a spiritual principle. But if you insist on your right and then you crack the whip and you won't get it that way. So we just want to draw the curtain here because as somebody rightly picked up, we don't have a babysitter here. But listen, that's one of the things we're going to talk about: how to navigate marriage through different seasons of life. So God willing, it depends on how tomorrow or Friday goes, or Saturday. We will definitely do another Facebook Live to round up on that. So thank you, honey, for being with me here, and thank you, baby, for praying for us. The irony is that she's going to sleep now that we are finishing. Thank you guys for joining us. God bless you. We want you to know that wherever you are in your life, single, married, divorced, separated, going through difficult seasons in marriage, going through a happy season in marriage, nobody has all the answers, but we know one man who has all the answers. We know a Savior who has all the answers. He's our Savior, Jesus. We recommend him to everybody. We are not saying that he's a magician, he's not a genie. But if we are willing to submit our lives unto him, he is able to give rest to all those who are heavy laden. So we commend it to him every day. Stay blessed. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.